Hey guys, it's Hunt for Games, and welcome back to another Hunt for Hardware segment. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, but I'm really excited to get back to them. And you have all been asking me what my recording setup is. What equipment do I use? How do I have it all configured? And I really want to get into that stuff, but there's a lot. There's so much. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I've gathered just a lot of stuff to do various things, so I want to break it down into 3 different videos. You must watch these videos 3 into different segments of kind of stuff. So we're gonna start off with the equipment, the mics, the capture cards, the mixers, a lot of that stuff. Then I'm gonna get into just my general configuration of my desk, what kind of keyboards, mice, my monitor setup, the lighting, all that stuff. And the third video will be mostly about the computer itself and how I, software I use and what's the hardware in the PC that I use to record all this stuff. So let's get right into the equipment and let's have some fun with it. As usual, I'm going to link everything I talk about in the description below. Feel free to leave in the comments any questions you have about the equipment I talk about, stuff I don't talk about, stuff you'd like to see, whatever. But let's get right into it and start off with some of the mics. So the mics, in my opinion, are the most crucial piece of equipment for the YouTube channel. I was always told that before I started. I continue to see that, and I continue to believe that that's true. So the first thing I bought when starting this was a microphone. I bought the Blue Yeti. So the Blue Yeti I still have, and it's a great all-around mic. It's capable of doing a lot of different stuff. Single voice, multiple voices in a room, 4 recording modes that you can swap between depending on your needs to kind of filter the noise that you do want and kind of try and get rid of as much of the noise you don't want. A lot of gain control on the mic. It's a USB mic, so it's plug and play. My PS4 even recognizes it a microphone, which has allowed me to do some really cool stuff that, a lot of mics wouldn't possibly work with. And zero latency output for listening to the feed as I'm kind of recording my own voice, which I think is super crucial, and I probably wouldn't buy a mic without that feature. I need to know what I sound like, and honestly, I'll get into it in a little bit, but that's super important for what I do with my PS4 recording. So it's great sound. It's currently about $130. I feel like it was more when I bought it, but I bought a bundle of this and the capture card I'm going to bring up in a little bit. So I don't really know how that compared with. It's kind of like how I got into recording. I was recording something else, and then I was like, oh my god, there's the capture card and the Blue Yeti combined in this package. I'm going to buy it. Now I primarily use it for recording PS4 and console games. I have another mic that I'm going to talk about in a second that I use for PC and the commentary and what I'm recording on right now. You've heard me use the Blue Yeti anytime you've heard me doing PS4 stuff, and the earlier videos were all on the Blue Yeti. I love the mic. I honestly only swapped out because for a little bit it was broken, and Blue was super awesome about it and replaced it. No questions asked. No questions asked when they got the mic and said it's broken, I guess. But so I had to get something else. Blue was going to take a couple weeks to get that repaired or replaced, and I decided to use the opportunity to kind of try a different mic. So that mic is the Rode NT USB. So you can see that right here. It's right there. I'm kind of talking up at it now. I've got it on this Rode NT mounting arm that I had actually for the Blue Yeti before I even bought the mic. So I got this while the Blue Yeti was broken. I wanted to try a little bit of a different thing. The Blue Yeti is amazing, but it does have, some gain settings, some different modes, and it picks up a lot. It's an awesome mic, but it picks up the whole house. So as soon as Waffles was running around or Katie was stomping through the kitchen, she stomps a little bit. Don't hate me, Katie. It was picking up a lot of that. So I thought I'd try a different kind of mic that was better for just recording commentary as I'm playing games, especially if I was going to be playing games for hours on end. I can't just be like, Katie, shut up for the next 3 hours. So I figured I'd try this Rode NT USB, and it's been amazing. You have less control over gain, as in you have no control over gain. It's a USB mic, so I can't plug it into a mixer directly or anything like that. But it's just a great plug and play configuration that it comes with. Has been awesome. It also has a PC, you can get PC sound fed through the mic and use the headphone jack, which has zero latency feedback of what you're recording, but mixed in with the sound coming from your PC. This is amazing. You've got a little fade knob, so you can kind of adjust how much is your own voice that you hear and how much is the PC. It's just super awesome for recording live gameplay. It's really handy. I've always got it attached to my desk with this articulating arm that you could see. I use it for voiceovers, commentary, mostly stuff that isn't the PS4. Anything I do with my PC, I'm pretty much using this. The Blue Yeti might sound a little bit better overall, but a lot of that's because it picks up everything, and you can make it sound really nice that way, but you also get a lot of extra noise like shuffling and clicking keys and stuff that I try to avoid. So this is a little more expensive. It runs at like $170, but I do love it. It's pretty awesome. There are a bunch of different mics out there in this price range. People debate which one's the best. I forget why I went with this one. There might have been a sale. I was just trying it out. But yeah, I'm still figuring out my favorite mic situations. But those are the two mics I have. They've been awesome so far. Feel free to leave in the comments any questions you have about either of those mics or what I use them for. So moving on, we come to the capture card. So I've only ever owned one capture card like externally from my PC, and it was the Elgato HD60. It's one of my first purchases that I ever made for the YouTube channel, was to record my PS4, Wii U at the time, Xbox One, all that gameplay. And it's an awesome little device. It's kind of pricey now that I look at it. It's like $150. I think I got a deal on it, so I wasn't quite as worried about that at the time, but it's expensive. The reason I went with the HD60 was because it offered 1080p, 60 frames per second gameplay recording, which was kind of a must for me. That stuff's really important to me, like frame rates, high frame rates, and at least 1080p resolution. So I wanted to make sure that I had that in my recordings, even from like day one. So I spent a little bit more than I probably should have to get this device versus some other recording options that only record 720 60 or 1080 30, which 2 years ago, honestly, were more widely accepted because Twitch had lower limits on what you could stream. I think they're just starting to raise that now for like everybody. And even YouTube had only just started offering 60 frames per second uploads. And everyone was like, yeah, whatever. If you still do 30 frames per second, it's fine. The Elgato HD60 comes with its own Elgato software, which works pretty well. But I have had some problems with it in the past where like over long recording sessions, it starts to buffer too much and kind of crashes sometimes. So, I haven't used it in a while. Instead, I integrate the HD60's feed into OBS. OBS software is a free software opportunity. I'll talk about it in the third video a little bit more, but it could be its own video. It lets me add different video sources, including PC itself, capture card, webcams, etc. You can filter those with like chroma key for green screen removal stuff. A lot of other filters to the sounds, and there's just cool stuff you can do. It's the free option. There's another option that you kind of pay a subscription for that a lot of people seem to like. But for recording, I think OBS has been fine. As soon as there's a lot of options for how you can dial in your recording settings, and a million forums and stuff out there for people going over the best options depending on your PC. A lot of it's trial and error, figuring out what looks the best versus file size versus... Anyways, you can go into that forever. I love it, and it works great with my Elgato HD60. So I've actually been trying to look into something to improve upon the HD60, only because I'd love to be able to record at 4K, or pass through 4K at least. I want to be able to play 4K games on the TV, but that stuff is not readily available right now. It's like still super expensive at the consumer level, so we'll figure that out. Anyways, moving on. So one of my next purchases, and I think an awesome purchase for any budding YouTuber, was my webcam, the Logitech C920. Now this one will come up in a million search results if you just search for like good streaming recording webcam. And that's how I found it, is that it's just a solid webcam. It's pretty cheap. It does 1080p, 30 frames per second recording. And it's what I've always recorded on. Every video you've ever seen of me has been on this. I just now, the other day, I got this Sony DSC HX80. It's about $330. The Logitech that I'm talking about is $70. Something like that. Anyways, I just got that digital camera. Katie and I kind of split it for a couple things. So I'm really excited to see what I can do with that. But for the past 2 years, I've only ever used a C920 webcam, 1080p, 30 frames per second. When I bought it, I kind of figured like, the gameplay I want to be smooth and crisp and everything, but nobody's going to notice if my like eyebrows aren't moving at a full 60 frames per second. I wish I had a 60 frames per second recording device now, and I do, I guess, but I wish I had a webcam that could. We'll see if I upgrade. Speaking of which, there is a C922, an upgraded version of the Logitech C920 that I bought 2 years ago that does record at 1080p 60 frames per second. I think that goes for $90, 80 or 90, which is what this originally went for. I'll link that as well below. I would highly recommend, if you're thinking of buying something like that, to spend the extra like $15, 1080p 60. There's so much more you can do with that in terms of, I just think the quality is better. If it had been an option when I bought mine, I probably would have bought that, but it wasn't, so no big deal. But I am really excited about the Sony DSC HX80 for being able to record some stuff like away from the desk. So the webcam is obviously super easy to integrate with your PC, and you can record live commentary. All the file outputs go directly to your PC. I mean, if you're recording stuff like I've been recording, it's great. It's perfect. It makes life easier that it's already just connected. You can play games while recording yourself, and it's super easy that way. But it's locked to a computer. So it's the only downside is I haven't been able to record anything away from my computer, which I've only been like just now starting to want to do. So I'm excited to do some of that stuff. But for most YouTube streaming, vlogging in front of a computer, I guess. For most streaming, game recording, commentary, that kind of stuff, a webcam is perfect. The C920 has treated me really well. The C922 looks like a better version of that. So definitely let me know if you have any questions about the webcams, other options. If you see a deal on something else, you want to just share it and say like, hey, how's this look? Whatever. So final thing I'm going to talk about today is the mixer. So the mixer I have is the Behringer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, 1204 USB premium mixer. So this is my purchase when I started to get a little more serious about doing some live recordings. It's not as big of a deal if you're overlaying your voice kind of after the fact, because you can dial in the volumes then. You can just like say, oh, the game's too loud. But if you're recording live, it's a bit bigger of a deal. You can do some adjustments like right before you record. You can make sure that your voice is going to sound as loud as you want it to. There's other things that the mixers can do, but that's primarily the reason I have it, along with allowing an easy button solution to output audio to the TV when I'm just like relaxing. But that's a whole other thing. So I got this one to allow some room to grow, but I still end up using a lot of the inputs. I don't really have any room to grow anymore. So short version, this allows me to accept input from one of my monitors, accept input from TV, and accept input from this mic. So no matter if my PS4 is currently being output to the TV, the monitor, and wherever the mic happens to be situated in the room, I convert the 3.5mm output of the Blue Yeti into XLR so it can travel across the room, just so I can have a centralized in the center of the room hook-in for the mic so that I can sit at the couch or sit at my desk, wherever I happen to be, and record anywhere. That's really the benefit of the mixer, is that I can move stuff around. I've got audio inputs that can come in from everywhere. And if I ever have, multiple mics, multiple people in the room talking, it allows me a lot of flexibility. There are cheaper mixers. This one's actually like $180. And I chose it because of specific needs that I had. Depending on how many sources you have and what you're going to use it for, they're like $50 mixers. Actually, there's a $50 Behringer that's amazing that I used to have for another situation. So, yeah, it's pretty solid. So let me know in the comments stuff you think about this, the equipment that I've mentioned, any questions you have, and even if you have suggestions about equipment you think that would be better than the equipment I'm using, feel free. I have a habit to kind of like start using something, and unless it has a serious problem, I get into sort of just like a rhythm. I mean, obviously, I don't want to buy a new mic every week. I can't afford that stuff. So I've been using this stuff for a while. If you think there might be something better out there that I should be using, feel free to let me know in the comments. And any questions, obviously, that you have about the stuff that I am using. Next two videos, the hunt for hardware anyway. Next one, I'll talk about the desk. I've got a cool standing desk. I can't wait to go over my lighting situation, what I'm using for the green screen, the box lights, my monitor arms, all that fun stuff. And then third video onto the PC itself. So all good stuff. Thanks again for suggesting this video. I'm really excited to get back into hunting for hardware more often. Not just about my recording setup. I think that's just like the entryway. We'll get into cool stuff like the new Ryzen CPUs, the 1080 Ti, lots of cool stuff going on. So anyways, thanks for sticking around for the end, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally think about subscribing. I've got videos coming out twice a week, and if you like this one, there's at least a chance you like some of the others that are very similar to this, so live dangerously. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments and other videos you'd like to see. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Huntin for Games to keep up with all the latest stuff. See ya.